in Old Town Mariposa, except this time we have a guest. Let's bring him in, Mike. Bob, who do we have today?
Well, I have a friend of mine, Kara Goger, and we've met before. Kara runs the Arts Council in Mariposa County, and she's coming in to talk about a special show. And Kara, maybe you could give us a little picture of what's going on here.
Kara, nice to have you back to the Buzz. Good to see you again.
It's nice to be back.
We were just talking about chocolate soup last week. It's good. Let's hear what you have to say.
So we're upstairs from Chocolate Soup. You'll see that on the screen. That's our gallery. It's the Treetop Gallery. And we're very honored to be bringing in a show by David Johnson. He was Ansel Adams' first African-American student at the California School of Fine Arts when it opened its Department of Photography in 1946.
Wow.
So pretty cool stuff. He was a documentary photographer, and he documented San Francisco during the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Now, you said you're the first African-American photographer that worked underneath Ansel Adams. Mm-hmm. We're saying 1946.
Right.
This is a big deal.
It is a big deal, and he photographed the civil rights, and what's really interesting, he photographed the Fillmore district, which is where he lived, and during the 40s, the Japanese community had lived in the Fillmore, and then they were interned, and in their place came the African-American community. He photographed that time period, and then in the 1960s, during urban renewal, they were all kicked out, and so he kind of captured this slice of time that just it doesn't exist anymore.
And this is what's going on in your gallery right now. This is what you're showing.
Right. And this is what we're showing, and we're super excited about it, and we're very happy to bring in socially representative historical artwork into Mariposa.
Cool. And we have a video on that right now.
Right. So if I could just set this up real quickly, it starts off. David Johnson comes to San Francisco, and he is taken to Ansel Adams' house by Minor White, who is also a very big name in photography. And he stays with Ansel Adams for several weeks while he's getting on his feet. And it turns out he doesn't have the equipment that he needs to start the class. And so that's where this video kind of starts.
Okay, let's take a look.
The day before our school, I arrived there maybe a week and a half before school opened. He says, David, we have something for you. I said, what do you have for me? There was an Eastman, there was a 4x5 view camera. There were about 3 holders. There was a case and a Western Master 2 meter. If it was a loan, it wasn't a loan, it was a gift. They were so excited that I was there and that I had traveled such a distance. I probably came the farthest way to be a member of that class than anybody in that entire class. And I didn't know I was going to become a member of the Golden Decade. We later concluded that we were the Golden Decade. We are the proud group who believe, with justification, that we made a big push toward raising the level of appreciation of photography and taking its rightful place as a fine art. I'm a photographer. What is that going to mean to me? And I'm not going to segregated schools to be a teacher. I'm not going to be an undertaker or a porter and all that. I'm going to be a photographer. My career goal was chosen a long time ago. It was just achieving it was going to be the task. So while roaming through the Fillmore district, I'm in school now and I've mastered my photographic technique to the extent I can produce a good photograph. And there were no cover charge. You could walk into these places. And one place my favorite place was the Primalon Ballroom. And that's where I photographed some of the famous blues musicians. And so I would go there and take photographs of them. And nobody objected to it. And there's one picture here of T-Bone Walker. And that particular photograph strikes me as there was T-Bone Walker sitting, playing, and there was a couple in the photograph. And later I said, I wish they weren't there. And then later on, I'm glad they were there. Normally, I would have been more interested in the photograph of the musician. But something said, what if you got behind the musician and photographed the reaction of the participants to the music? What is a griot? A griot is a Portuguese word. And griot, it tells the story, particularly in West Africa, of the past events, since it was not a written language but an oral language. We're telling a story presently, and what we're showing you is something already taken place. You know, it's history, but there's certain richness in that history.
Wow. What an amazing, touching, I mean, there's just so many stories that go on inside that one video. This is what you're showing at your art gallery. Did I hear that this man is going to be there?
That's right. On Saturday, we'll have an opening reception for the exhibition, which is titled Framing the Street, and he will be there. He just has a book out, and he'll be there signing his book.
How old is he?
He's 89. It's a treat to meet
Wow.
someone like this
Wow.
and to really get to speak with him. And he's a character. I'd come. Yeah.
So he'll be there on Saturday from what times?
5 to 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
If there's a way, I'm going to make it up there. If for nothing else, just to talk to this man about history.
Yes.
I'm sure his photography is phenomenal, but I just want to talk to him about how it was back in 1946 to be a black man coming into Mariposa and with Ansel Adams.
Right.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, he did. He had that experience traveling to Yosemite and Mariposa with Ansel Adams, learning underneath him. And yeah, he has a very unique and wonderful life story to share. He considers himself a griot. You heard that in the movie, which is a storyteller. And so he thinks of himself less as an artist and more as someone who is sharing history through his artwork.
Which is his photography.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
Well, you know, Bob, I gotta thank you for bringing Cara. This is just going to be an amazing thing happening up in Mariposa. But as usual, it's probably not the only thing happening in Mariposa this weekend.
Well, yes. There are a couple of other things going on. Of course, at the Coin, we have our entertainment venues that are going to go on. But Friday Night Lights at the football stadium, Mariposa goes up against their biggest challenge of the year, the Grand, undefeated, probably in their division, probably one of the best football teams in the state.
Wow.
And our boys are ready to play football, and they have a good attitude about it. But it's going to be a tough game.
It's a home game.
Home game in
Okay.
Mariposa, under the lights.
I know you guys get excited about your home games up there. What is
Something else going on. This is a football weekend. Have you ever heard about the Tri-Valley League? Pop Warner football. Have you ever heard about that?
It's for the youngsters. It's like a little league.
Right. And these are junior high kids, and they have their Super Bowl in Mariposa every year. And kids come from all over Northern California to play football in Mariposa County. So we have Saturday and Sunday we'll be playing Pop Warner football with the World Championship, the Super Bowl. Let me think. Is it
Chocolate Soup's open house.
Chocolate Soup's open house? We heard about that last week, and there'll be other people. We're putting up our Christmas displays. My wife has been running around putting up lights, and so we're gonna be warm and Christmassy before Thanksgiving. It's gonna be a great weekend.
Awesome. Well, Carrie, it certainly was nice to see you
Thank you
again.
so much.
Mr. Borchard, I will see you.
My good friend, Chuck Leonard.
My good friend, I will see you back here next Thursday for another trip to Old Town Mariposa.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a quick commercial break on the Buzz, and we'll be right back. Stick around.